Hey, what's up guys, it is Keen Wolfpaw, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a floating island. Okay, so first of all, you're going to want to build a pillar for your base. You can do this in survival, but make sure when you're pillaring up you add water at the bottom, so you can add ladders to the side for quick access. So we're going to make this about 35 blocks high in the sky, maybe more, depending on our base. Now that you have your base block way up in the sky, you could keep the pillar underneath it if you wanted it for easy access, but now you can either choose this as a corner because that'll be easier to ladder up onto, or you could use this as your center point, which we will be doing. Actually, we'll just use this as our corner point, and we're going to be doing a 19 or 18 by 18 wide platform. So now that I've built my base, I'm going to want to have a 3x3 hole in the middle. Really, this depends on how big your base is, but just make sure it's proportional to this. And this is actually just the way I've learned it, but there's probably other ways to do it, but I prefer this way. But what you're going to do is extend these out quite a bit, and then you're going to kind of make them uneven, and then extend from there. And actually, before we do that, we are just going to extend the pillars around the hole in the middle here to about 4, or proportional to this, kind of. Not too long, but decent length. But now you want to kind of extend only the middles here of each of these, and these are going to be the ones that kind of stick down from your island and give it that uneven look. And just make sure you got at least 15 down or more. Probably need a bit more on that. Do that on camera here. That should be good. So now what you are going to want to do is kind of make this a gradual slope out to your top block. What I recommend doing is up every 2 of these, and that's going to give it a nice even slope, or maybe even 3, and then slope to 2 like that. And do this for all 3 sides. What this is going to leave you with is a nice gradual slope up to the top. It looks weird on the edges here for now, but we'll be extending those to make a circle for the island, or whatever shape you want. And next you are going to just extend these a fair amount, not too far. That right here should be good, about 2 from where the first drop starts, these 3 here, and just fill those in. And with that, we've gotten a nice degree of randomness added to our build. So what we're going to want to do now is kind of fill in these spaces, but keep it at least a block. You're going to want to favor keeping a block away from each of the edges. But what you're going to want to do is kind of keep it randomized and go over it, and then go close to the edge and go like that. And you just keep doing stacking layers like this. Like that. And you're starting to get the kind of sloped effect here. And do that for the other edge. Again, the same thing. And as soon as you have completed all of the edges possible, we're almost done here. We have another side. Just to show you guys the process I go through here. Kind of just randomize it. You know, we're kind of looking for that random kind of look that's going to make it that much better. And let's add another row. Actually, that row is done. And we're going to finish this one. And these 2. And then I'll show you guys what to do next. Sometimes while creating these edges, you'll kind of get into a pattern and keep everything in line. You don't want to do that. You're going to want to change it up a little here and there. Just sculpt it. Make it kind of random. Like that. Not that random, but there. And the last edge. So what you're going to want to do next is fill in the middle spaces. Of course, we are going to be shaping the edges by removing edges, but if you made the bottom of your island big enough, you can actually expand the edges and make it in a circle. But in this example, we are going to be cutting off the edges. When doing so, it's always best to give it a random look as always. That's a very important part of making an island, is the randomness, because it looks that much better. And what you're going to want to do to fill in these spaces is just fill it in a little bit, like so. And once you've started doing that, you're going to want to start making random lines. So to do this, in survival, you'd obviously be jumping up and down and holding randomly. But with creative, we can always go like this, which I find works pretty well. And we can fill in the spaces to the edge with this example. You might have to tweak it a little bit depending on what your island is like. And make sure you avoid kind of like edges that stick out too much, because that looks bad. And just keep doing this. And once you have completed that, you're going to want to add random patches of dirt into the side of the island. And what this is going to do is give it a more natural look from below, so it's not all just stone. And it's going to make it look that much better. Just some finishing touches. If you want, you can also add some gravel to give it a bit more of a finished kind of look. So what you can do next is add a layer of dirt on top if you're going to be making an island, because it's not a floating island without it. It can be a stone floating island if that's your theme, but in our example we're going to be replacing we'll be placing dirt on top. We'll be using grass, of course, because we're in creative. And you're going to want to have this second layer made of dirt on the edge too, because that's just going to give it that much more depth. And of course, if you still have the giant hole in the middle, you're going to want to do something with that. So you can actually fill it in with water if you kind of like the look of it. This is what we've done here. I don't really like the look. I'm not sure. You guys can experiment with that. It might look better in your world. But for this example, we're just going to fill it in with stone in the bottom. To fill this in, you're going to want to follow the pre-existing shape and just keep adding on to it and fill in the middle. As soon as you have completed the dirt and grass layer, you're going to want to extend an overhang over the edge by 1 or 2 blocks. We're going to do 1 block in our example, and this is going to complete the island look. And after a few more little touch-ups, we will be done with this. Now that that's complete, you're going to want to add a couple water source blocks over the edge of the island, and what that's going to do is kind of give it a more realistic look. Obviously, if you aren't going for a peaceful look and you're going for like another island look, you can be using lava instead of water. But what I usually do is just put water on all 4 sides, and that's about it. Now that your island is complete, you can build whatever you want on top. You obviously have a bit of building space if you build it correctly. And I'm going to leave you guys to experiment with this. Build whatever you guys want. Make awesome floating islands. If you built anything, you can message me or post a reply in the comments. And that's going to be it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. This has been KeyWolfPaw. Bye.